What's up, our people? Come on, say hi to our people.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. We're back at it again. This is our chapter one. We took a break after the introduction, but now we're back at it. And our chapter one reads, "Beat your yesterday." Don't forget to hit that subscription button. Let's do this. In Africa, there are similarities in how we are all raised. For instance, you knew for a fact that if you accepted food when visiting someone's house, your mother would literally kill you. At family gatherings, weddings, our parents would use a side eye signaling tactics to draw us from groups of people so that maybe they can pass a plate of food in a corner. My childhood was normal. Mischief, however, was always a notch higher than many normal kids my age. If I were my own child, I would have disowned myself, believe you me. I was a tough kid, but my parents were stern with me. If they hadn't been, I would probably have turned out differently. At our home, my mother assumed the army general position, heading the Department of Corrections. She only performed physical punishments. She always joked that I was her own property, which the government did not even know about. One that only she had the power to make or break. She would laugh at my astonishment whenever she said that. My first encounter is when, okay, let's do this. Give me a minute. I remember running away from home and sleeping on a mango tree several times. I always went back in the morning convincing myself that I had forgiven her. Not her forgiving me, I had forgiven her. Because she needed me, according to me, and not the other way around. Most times, on getting there, I would find her having transformed the place into a worship and praise and worship, singing at the top of her lungs, as though I hadn't been missing. That was my mother most of the days. Wait till you hear what my father was all about. My late father, may the Lord continue resting his soul in peace. I mean, he would just be so mad when I made obvious mistakes, that he would be in a color between yellow, green, and black. He believed in administering psychological punishments and was the kind to give suggestive comments as a form of correction. He was fond of warning me that if I went on with my bad behavior, we would be forced to discern whose father was older between mine and his father. That was always comical to me because his father was my father and his father was my grandmother and my father, so definitely his father was older than mine. I remember when I was in high school, I wrote a letter in detail with supporting facts that explaining that I was the least loved in the family. If you come from Africa, there's a point where in your childhood where you thought that you were despised, disliked, or possibly unwanted. Some people insisted, instead of letting the thought torture them, ask their parents directly whether they really hated them. Of course, I was there. I put because I was the family's advocate. I put this in stipulation because I always mostly take things overboard. I did myself a great disservice by putting my concerns on paper, because this paper was to be used my entire high school and college. On the day I returned home, upon seeing me at the gate, My father called my mother at his top voice. He was yelling, "Come, come, come, see the judge, the activist, the family has arrived. Please bring him a red carpet for him to walk on as he enters loud." To my dismay, I later learned that my father hadn't sent me the money because he had suffered a minor stroke. They wanted me to stay back at school to avoid worrying me. That situation changed my view on taking life. It's very easy to make conclusions and act upon situations. Would you mind trying a little empathy? The incident turned me into a businessman. When I went back to school, I started selling sweets, biscuits, to cover for whatever was not coming from my parents. From then on, Dad would refer me this letter to the most insulting letter ever a kid has written. I love you. I don't even think my dad ever uttered the words "I love you" to my mother. He was a great joker, often using humor to express himself. One of the greatest life lessons my father taught me was that failing to plan is planning to fail, and that one should learn to own their own wins and fails for that matter. One time when I was in college in Nairobi, I squandered an entire week's allowance. I then called home asking for more money. My father sent me a short message insisting that I would be getting my upkeep for the next week and that he would bring it next week himself. He argued that he wanted to spend quality time with me, whining and dining. Then later, he would recalculate my upkeep and decide how much I would need in a week if I was receiving less than I thought I should. That same day, while I was mandarin in the central business district of Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, I happened to spot him from back. I was so delighted I immediately started plotting on how I would spend the money that he would give me. When I walked up to him, he laughed, that evil laugh. And he said, "My son, whether you have seen me or not, I'm not going to give you money. I will bring you money next week in the city. I'm not in the city." And that's when you get your upkeep. I got nothing from him. And that was that. I still laugh at this to date. The lesson was, once you spend the money you have worked for, then you will not trivialize money that someone gives you, knowing the pain of getting it. These are the best memories that I have of my parents while growing up. These experiences have shaped who I am today. My parents always wanted to make us better than themselves. They only wanted to give us better lives and better opportunities than they had. I will not pretend that I was the best child. I was naughty, probably deserved even every spanking I got. I'm forever grateful for the teachings my parents instilled in me, however painful they were. For the 3 decades I have been above the ground, I have come to the conclusions that greatness is a portion of my cup. Elegance and success come a close second, and that. In the early years of my life, I did not have a clue on how to get there. Now I do. You realize that your parents were right when your kids start telling you that you are wrong. The pain of parenting is like cheap goods. You only feel the pinch long after a cheap price. If only everyone tried to be a better person than they were yesterday, then we would leave this world a better place than it was when we came to it. One day, in a softer manner, I hope to tell my kids that I wish them the world and all its possibilities. I intend to give my challenges and the same beating I got from my mom, if not worse. I could have called this book a better year today, But because I was a naughty boy who probably got more beatings than any of my siblings, I preferred beat you yesterday. Of late, I have learned to appreciate every single win. So please spread the gratitude towards others as well. This is chapter 1, beat you yesterday.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Now, this is a good read, and mainly I see you're talking about how you were parented.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is it that you thought then was wrong, and right now you think is right? Since now you're a parent, when have you realized that they were right, those people?
Funny is, just like I said in the book, we realize that now young parents, when you're telling your kids, whoa, don't do that, eat first, don't snack all day, don't play all day, take a shower. Me, I was not that kid who would take a shower every time. So when you talk about showers is when the kids will be like, whoa. So it's important to take a shower?
Do I have to?
As in, the kids will be like, do I have to? So now is when I realize, when they order in the house, errands, they think that when I was being told to go to the garden and do some garden work and things like that, I would go back and I'm like, man, I don't want it. And that's the same thing that happens now
They
to
are
kids.
unfair. You
Yeah,
always
they're
think that
unfair.
your parents are unfair.
They don't
when-
love me, things like that.
Oh, but now you've realized.
Now I've realized, whoa. This is the same training that I went through. But problem is, when I'm realizing my kids are telling me, dude, you're wrong.
Oh my. And there's something else that you mentioned here. You say that the pain of parenting is like cheap goods. You only feel the pinch long after a cheap price. What do you mean by that?
You know, when you go to a shop and everyone says, like they say, I can swap that with a simple one that goes around saying, cheap is expensive. When they say cheap is expensive, that means you're happy. That's what I mean now. I'm happy when I say, oh, someone tells me, I'm gonna give you this shirt for this much. Then that's the money that I have in the pocket. I'm happy saying, oh, get it, let me get it. Then when I realize I can't even iron it, I can't even wash it twice because the color goes away, you know? That's when I realize, man, I can't take it back.
Oh man.
So the cheapness of the good price, you realize later after you've already paid the good ones, and then you realize, oh, I still have to pay more to get a good quality.
Yeah. So what do you mean? The parents today, what are they supposed to do? How is this applicable to today? Because how I as a parent, how am I supposed to pay this expensive price right now to get a good substance later in the future?
Okay, this is how you told me once we were discussing, and you said it's something like delegation, for instance. Delegation, you told me parenthood cannot be delegated.
Sure.
You know, you can say it's just like going to school and things like that. You cannot tell, if you're a father, you cannot tell the mother to cover you all the time. If you are the mother, because there are mothers who are absent too.
Yeah.
And someone told me toxic mothers are as bad as absent fathers.
Oh.
So
that's a good one.
yeah, if you're a toxic mother, then change that, because you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yes.
It's simply put in this way. It's not that I feel philosophical today, but it's like, if you don't take care of your kids, then be ready to bring up your grandkids. Because these kids you're bringing up, they can't bring up kids. So then you as a grandmother, as a grandfather, you will be bringing up your grandkids.
You paid the cheap price.
You paid a cheap price because you didn't give time for your kids. You didn't. There's a format that someone told me last year, by the end of last year. He said he has 4 kids. Every single day, it doesn't matter how busy he is, he gives each kid 15 minutes. He started with 1 kid, he gave him 1 hour. Started 2 kids, he gave him 30 minutes, because there are 2. When they became 3, he divided by 3.
So if you plan on getting
More kids.
you better be prepared to give them all
And
that
you
time.
can't get more than an hour. That is what he has. He's dealing with 1 hour to listen to them. You know that parents forget that they just keep talking. But I think you told me that, or someone else told me. It's a friend of ours who told us that sometimes kids are small human beings.
They
So
are.
yeah, so treat them as like a saw. Let them say something to you. In these 15 minutes, it's a negotiation. It's you listening to them, them listening to you, and telling you, just keep quiet as a parent. No orders nowadays. You're listening to the day, how the day was. If they were in school, were they bullied? If they were there, did they bully? You know, people only care about if they were kids.
But now
bullied.
we are busy, Bana. It's like we are so busy. Work. Some parents are studying. Some parents are still the helpers in the home. So how are you expecting such parents to have time for their kids?
If you don't have time for kids, don't bring them on the earth. Kids do not ask to come.
That's too harsh.
Yeah, it's very harsh, but it's the truth. Because if you're bringing kids who did not ask to come into the world, then create time for them. Time will never be there. Everyone has 24 hours.
But I think people don't know this subject you're talking about time. Time is not when you're with your kid and both of you are watching a movie. Yeah, that's a good thing. But I think for me, the perspective of time is when you are really actively involved in what you're doing.
I concur with you on that.
If you're doing dishes,
concur with
do
you.
them together.
Exactly.
If you're going to play a game, don't let not the kids just take you to go and cheer you, or you take them to go cheer them. Why don't you do it together?
Exactly.
I think time is something that has been misunderstood by everyone. Like you think because we are in the same house and different rooms, you're still actively involved in the...
No, it's like, I you remember I say it somewhere, I put it this way. People save time to waste it.
Oh, sure.
It's like talent. Some people are so much talented, but they will die poor. Sorry to say. Today is like I'm giving them raw. As in it's in real life.
You're
right?
so philosophical.
Yeah,
today.
but I'm still giving them the way it should be.
Okay.
As in I'm not saving anything.
Go, Dr.
So it's like we have so many talented people who will die poor.
Why?
Because it's like we said, work does not work unless it's done. Work does not care. It just needs to be done. So talent, if it's not nurtured, then it doesn't get better.
Oh yeah.
There are people I know. I can mention players. Some of my favorite players in every aspect of games, and you realize like the Williams. Let's go to neutral game like tennis. Serena Williams, Venus Williams. Those are people who are brought up by their father, being taught, do this, do this, do this, do this. Nowadays, they're building schools across the world. They are giving charity to wherever, just because the parent had time. That is their coach.
And time is not what we think time is. I've come to realize that time is when you take your time to understand the emotions of your kid. You take time to understand why they're behaving the way they are behaving. You know, sometimes you get angry. Your kid comes, does something wrong, maybe decides to go throwing up things at you, throwing tantrums, and you just don't understand why is this tantrum coming from. It has to come from something that happened before. Like I remember there's a time that a friend of mine, the daughter was crying at night, and she was like, I don't know what's up with my daughter, she's always crying at night, I just don't know what's happening. And I just told her, why don't you go back and see what happened during the day? Who did they spend the day with? Did the kids spend time with you? If it's the home assistant, you have to know what has been happening during the day that is making what is happening. Yeah, because it's just a reflection of what has been happening in the life. The same way, if a kid has been brought up the right way, a kid is a reflection of the parent. Sure, 1% or 2% fail, You see that parents are good, they always doing the right thing, but the kids turn out the way they want to turn out. That is when you leave it to God.
That's the same thing we say. It's hard to agree, but we
Yeah.
say sometimes they are own humans. So we as parents, we just vessels to bring out what God put into us. And that's
But
why I
sometimes
say,
it's a reflection.
yes,
at
sometimes-
times,
mostly,
at
yeah.
times, mostly it's a reflection. Because you that's why even if someone you brought them up in the Christian way, they're praying, they're all that, and in a way they lose the way. They lose the way knowing the way. They already know the right
you did
way.
your part.
They just lost the way, but they know the way to follow.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So,
So-
what else did you find from this story about
I
your
like the
parents?
part. It was so hilarious when you said that you wrote a letter to your daddy, and then he was like, "Come see the advocate of the family.
Oh yeah.
Spread the red carpet for him." Lol. Do you know what I like about that? He said it openly. I like his openness. That's a very good trait that your dad had. He never hid it. He never took you like, "My son, come. Let's go behind the house. Let's talk about this. Why did you write this letter?" He never hid it from your mom. There was openness between the two parents.
Yeah.
That is something that in parenting, you have to be open.
If you don't be open, one a kid will be lying to you. Oh, I need $10.
Go to the mama
Then you
and
go to
give
the other one. I need
$5.
10.
Daddy
Okay.
is so bad. He did this during the day. They go back to the mom. Mommy is bad. She did this during the day. And with that, if you're not open, and this does not go just to two parents, like the mother and the father, even if you're a single parent, you have to be open even to your kid. Like, you tell them the truth. Be open with them. Honey, this is what I make. And since this is what I make, this is how we're gonna spend it. Be open with your
So that
finances.
kids do not expand their budgets until you can afford it because they think you have lots of money, right?
And firmness. Your dad was so firm.
Yeah,
and
he
like,
was.
You
He
remember?
was.
You remember when he told you, "You have not seen me." I like that part that he says, "You have not seen me." That
Yeah,
reminds me of my mom.
yeah. And my friends, I didn't say I left this friend. The friends, because this book, I want people to understand that this is my life. This is part of my life. It's a real, as in, it's non-fictional. It's a true story.
Yeah, true.
That the guys that I had with, a guy named I can't remember, James was one of the guys that I had, and he said he was laughing. In fact, I think my own dad gave him some money.
But did not give you.
He
the
did
money.
not give me money because he
That's
said,
fabulous.
"Dude, if you used your allowance, then don't involve me in your miscalculations." But he had a friend, and he said, "So my friend now, I had to go back to my friend and say,
So-
man, I don't have nothing. Just buy me something or give me something."
So do you
Yeah,
support
so-
the bad cop, good cop parenting?
Yeah, to some extent, but sometimes no. Everything has a limit. That's what I would say. What do you say?
I think that all parents should just try and be the same. Because let me tell you, this good cop, bad cop, I stand to be
Spoils.
corrected, but it spoils children. In that, now I have just told my kid no to something like candy, no to toys. We don't have money right now. And then the daddy is like, "Oh, okay, I can buy it." Then what are you doing as parents? That's the firmness I was talking about. Your
Oh.
mom did not
No,
come
in that
and be
case,
like,
then I won't support it because if I the way I look at it is that if people are having bad cop, good cop parenting, then they should take turns. Not that always dad is a good one
yeah.
or mom is a good one. I would not advocate for that because
Or one can be a good cop and bad cop, but still be firm in the decisions. If you agree as parents, you have to go to a meeting. Go to a meeting as parents. Say, this kid A is talking about this. Kid B is talking about this. What do you think we should do, the two of us? But not you make your decision, the other parent makes the decision, and then they collide. The kid will be just laughing at the both of you. Will be like,
Right.
ha ha ha, I just talked to mommy, mommy says no. I just talked to daddy, daddy says yes. And I think with that, the kids are also confused. Even to single parents, they still have to be sometimes a good cop and a bad cop, and
like
still be firm.
I like that.
It's not about
Firmness
having-
is
firmness is for
it's
every
consistent
parent.
and it should be there, right?
Yeah, it's for every parent. It's not about two parents that they are firm because they are
Because if you're
together.
not firm, someone was telling me you will cook food and then she will say, or he will say, oh, the kids will say they don't want to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
Then you need to go back there again and cook for them again. It's not that you have all day to just cook, you know.
Sure, you have to be farming whatever you say.
Yeah, so that's true. If there's food, they eat that whatever is cooked. The same a little issue that maybe was bringing out there about in that book. I don't think whether it came out clearly in that book, but it was about. I think you just said it, and then I had that eureka moment. I think when parents are talking about anything or about themselves, even scolding each other, they should move a little away from the kids.
Oh yeah, sure.
You see, like when my mom and dad were discussing about the letter that I wrote, and it was used to scare the rest and all that. We as kids were not there. They discussed them, both of them.
So you're saying, in simple terms, parents leave children out of your arguments.
Exactly. That's what I was doing.
That's it. That's a good point. And I also think that every parent should be actively involved in their children's life in a way that you brush together, you pray together, you eat meals together, you know the company that your kid is keeping. What kind of a company does your kid keep? Your kid goes for a sleepover. You've never even been to that home that your kid goes to. Or even you're afraid to go to that place. We've seen instances in Africa where your parent is not talking to the parent of somebody. And simply because they don't want to go there and meet the parent, they will send the kid to go and deliver a certain message. So I think if something is not good to you, then it is not good for your children.
Exactly. It's just like another wherever was happening, and a kid asked their father, Dad, where they are home managers, you know? And then the kid asked their mother and Dad and Mom, can you leave your car keys to the house manager? They said no. Mom, can you leave all your ATMs and money to your house manager? The mother and father said no.
Who would?
Well, can you give your title deed, your house to
house manager?
To your house manager?
No.
Then the kid asked, then why are you always comfortable leaving us the kids with the house manager? Does that mean you are less important
than
we're less important?
That means material is becoming
more
important than the kids. And that cannot happen.
And that's how they feel. That's how they feel. So according to me, I was like, yeah, this is a good question, but then they would go ahead. The dad and mom were worried now. Yeah. So what they see is that maybe there's something wrong that is being done by the house manager that the kids do not like. And that's why they're attacking. So maybe the parents do not even treat the house manager differently in that they don't even give them food, they eat different food. So they are treating this other person as a human, a lesser human being.
Yeah.
Then still you leave them with your kids.
The lesser human
then the lesser human beings and the kids do not listen much.
They learn
They
more.
learn through watching what you're doing or listening. Looking at what you do, your actions.
Yeah. Why do you think kids imitate their moms and dad? Have you ever seen kids play? They're always playing, pretending to drive.
Driving.
I'm driving like my daddy. I'm strong like my daddy. I'm cooking like my mama. They wear tiptoes like their mamas. Why? Because they admire what their parents do. So that means as parents, we are ambassadors to our children. We are the lead. You're the one to show them the way, not by telling them, don't curse, don't do this, and you yourself do it.
You're cussing and you're
telling them cussing is bad. Don't be on the TV all the time.
But
when you come home, you stay in your couch and watch for the next 5 hours and tell them to go and sleep. Then how do you tell them not to watch for 5 hours?
Eat healthy. Do some exercise, yet you yourself...
You don't do. You take them to the exercise place for them to play and
you
sit down and watch them be on the phone. Then they will ask the same question. So your phone is more important than me? Because instead of spending time with me, you are spending time with your phone, with the material things that you have, driving, with the TV and you spend the least time with me, then why would the kid not ask such questions?
Yeah, so we're going back to the 15 minutes. If you have 4 kids, give each 15 minutes. Listen to them
Yeah.
and see what happens. And then the other one, when you say brush, is when you reminded me about this book and say, my dad said, we used to brush every morning that I was home. So can you imagine? Because the Bible says, teach a kid,
The
teach
way
your
that
kids the
it
way,
should go.
the way they should go. And even when they are old, they will never forget that. Now I just turned 30-something years old
You're
last
growing
month.
old.
Yeah, I am.
Oh my.
But would you guess that I use the same toothpaste
That you used with your dad.
with my dad?
And
My
you
dad
refuse
has
to
been,
change it.
my dad has been passed on with the Lord, went to be with the Lord almost a decade now.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like I'm with him if I'm brushing using the same toothpaste,
You feel like he's standing beside you.
like we used to do. So every morning, whether I like it or not, whether it's raining or sunshine, when I put that toothbrush, I said, you watching me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you proud.
That's nice. And I
You
like
see?
what you did.
So
When he really insisted on discipline, that part that you say that you started selling, I don't know, it's biscuits or sweets or something, you started selling them
Yeah,
to school
those,
for you to
lollipops
earn
or
money and
whatever,
the
yeah.
lollipops. I like it because if you're firm as a parent, don't feel guilty. This will bring discipline to your child and creativity.
and they will think creativity, they will think outside the box. Because now I was selling those, and it was illegal in our high schools. But
I know.
I ran the creativity I had, you would not find them.
They will never even be fun. You remind me what we used to do in high school. In high school, we used to, some kids, some girls used to sell biscuits and sweets and stuff. And you know where they used to hide them? You won't believe. On the hanging lines. You hang them like clothes. When we do the inspection as prefects, we never used to find them. And then later, when my term was over and I was no longer a prefect, is when you learn the secrets. They told me, Susan, you don't know why we used to hide them. You will never find them. On the hanging lines, you just go to the hanging lines and hang them, the sweets, the lollipops in their packets, you just go hang them with pegs and nobody will find out. That's creativity. It's
That's
wrong,
creativity,
it's breaking
yeah.
the law, but it's creativity. So if you're disciplining your child, continue doing it. Don't feel like you're giving them a timeout, like you're doing a mistake, like you're feeling guilty. No.
Give them those timeouts and see what will happen.
And look at the creativity that will come. Look at how creative you are. You can even write a book. Because of,
Oh, yeah.
if parenting was not so hard on you, maybe you'll have never written a
Maybe
book.
these 2 chapters about the parents will not be
They
there.
will not be there because you'll be like, they were just there. My parents were just there.
That's
They were
very
just there.
true. So,
Yeah.
yeah, beat your yesterday. Any other thing you wanted to ask about it?
No, really. I think I'm done, and that's all about parenting. I think that if you plan, there's something you say that if you fail to plan, you
You're
plan to
planning to
fail.
fail, yeah.
So if you also don't plan on your parenting, if you don't plan to spend time, if you don't plan to improve the tactics, you have these kids just for a short time. We always say that they're just like visitors in your house. A time is coming when
That they will leave
go,
their house.
and you're left by yourself,
Uh-huh.
and you
In
start
fact-
saying, I wish.
Yeah, in fact, this is not in the book, but I remember when I went to college, and the people that I went to college in Kenya, they can attest to this. I went home so many times, so many weekends until my dad called me. And I used to bring a
What's wrong
team.
with you?
And I used to bring a team home. We would hire cars and drive all the way
I
to
know,
Kitui, you know?
I know.
It will be
I know.
a big team. And then dad asked me one day, come, my son. He used to call me my son. I say my dad. He said, my father. I say, he said me, what are you doing, man? I said, about what? I said, you here every weekend. I said, yeah, most of the time. Is it bad people like here? They wanna come, my friends wanna come here. Say, I didn't ask you about your friends. I asked about you. If you're not here, they won't be here. They can't come without you. So he said, is there a problem? I thought he was talking about my friends. He didn't want them to come. He said, no. Say, well, you're home every weekend. Then you still have that baby mentality that your parents got you,
Yeah.
even if anything went wrong.
Happens, yeah.
Regardless of whatever went wrong, your parents will always will always have to get you. So he said, try, don't come the next month, and the next month after that. When we miss you, we'll come see you.
We'll call you.
No, we'll come see you.
I remember the story
And that guy
you
would call me
always
6 in the morning. So if I went out with my friends and he's there calling me 6, why are you not awake?
Oh my.
Dad, it's Sunday, I'm not going to school, but yeah, you have assignments, you go, and if you wake up early, then the day will be bigger for you, will
Oh,
be
yeah.
longer for you.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not a morning person. I say that he say that you'll be poor.
That's good, because he was reminding you that you're supposed to work hard. Don't feel like because you're at a good place as a parent that
Then
you
your
don't
kids
need,
will come
that is
above
your
you.
money.
That
That
is
is
your
your
money.
money.
Yeah, you always
Let them
need to
learn
say
to
that.
earn their own money.
Exactly.
Don't make them feel so, because you have a company now. You think that your kids will come headed. If you don't show them the right way to lead your company, you die. It fails. So they still have to work hard, even if it's their company, and even if they're gonna inherit it, they still have to work hard to keep it.
Exactly.
You can't just leave everything in a silver platter.
Because if you do that, they were gonna squander everything when you're gone.
That's it.
So yeah, he said, dude, go there, interact with the other men, know where men find money, as long as you're doing everything legal. That's what he told me.
But I've been to your home. Let me tell you something about your home that I think that maybe probably most homes should have, is that homely feeling. Like you feeling like you're home. Let's make our homes homely, parents. Let's make them so worth missing, such that when your kid is out there and working hard and doing whatever they are doing, they know they can come home and feel at home.
Exactly.
And whatever
Not that where people are like, where we're making our homes like fighting grounds,
The karate area.
whatever. No. Make our homes homely. I think that's one thing I would say to my kids. I say, I promise myself that I'll make our homes their home now. So much fun that they will be going to college and think that they're missing out at home.
That's true.
So that whatever I did,
And-
I'll multiply that by
And
2.
don't
'cause
misunderstand. Home is not material. Home is not the number of cars.
It's whatever
Home
you
is not
do.
the number of the best couch. Home is not the best carpet. Home is not the best whatever, wallpapers. No, it's that time that you share together.
They share with them. They know when
Playing
we come,
together.
this is what we do, this is what
Cooking
we do.
together. Do Uno together. Do those. Run with your kids.
Play
in the
those cards,
playground.
playground,
Run
shout with them.
It's not kiddish. Actually, it makes you young. And you ask why our grandmas are not getting old. Because they're playing with the grandkids as you rest and watch them. What do you expect?
Exactly.
So let's keep it real.
Yeah, beat you yesterday. This is gonna be fire. This is gonna be lit because we're back and we're not going soon until we see
Yeah.
that you understand what treasure is in this little book.
Oh yeah.
We love you guys. Keep pushing that subscription button and
Hit it. Like hit that subscribe button. Hit it
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hard that you subscribe to Bidii na Imani YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok.
Follow us. TikTok you can go to
the same
the
Bidii
same
na
Bidii
Imani.
na Imani, almost
Insta and
Sanki,
San-
Dolo, Muthui. Like
Uh-huh.
you will get us there. And
We'll be there, man.
so that we can beat that yesterday.
Yeah, and we appreciate you guys for your comments
Oh yeah.
and the love you're showing unto us.
Sure.
We don't take it for granted,
Oh
man.
yeah. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Until next time, chapter 2.
We love you.
See ya.
All right.
Love you.